Hello, my name is Frank McKenna. I'm here at UC Berkeley at the Veterinary SimCenter. This is a quick video on the installation steps needed for the Bootcamp. These are instructions for those of you running on a Windows 10 operating system. We need you to do 6 things before the workshop begins. We need you to install, or we need you to fork a copy of the SimCenter repo. We need you to install Git and Python. We need some Python modules installed in your machines. We need you to test the setup. We can't be doing this next week. And then finally, for the end of next week or the following week, we need you to install an application on your phone. This is such that you can actually log into this TAC Supercomputing Center. So let me now demonstrate on a Windows 10 virtual machine. So here is my VM. It's got nothing on it. It's Windows 10. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fork the GitHub repo. Let me go to the search bar. I'm going to search for GitHub and SimCenter. That'll bring me to our GitHub repo. If you're not already a member of GitHub, you're probably going to have to sign up. I'm going to have to sign in before I can do anything. But the repo we want is SimCenter Bootcamp, so 2020. So we click on that. That'll bring up this page. Again, I'm going to have to sign in. If you're not a GitHub member, you're going to have to sign up and then sign in. I'm not going to save this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a copy of this for ourselves. So I want everybody, you're going to come over here to the fork. You're going to click on fork, and that's going to ask you to create a new fork. I have 3 different GitHub names. So let's go in my F. McKenna one. So this is now forking a copy of the master repo into my own personal account. So now I have a copy of the SimCenter Bootcamp in my own personal account. It's not in Neri SimCenter. So that's what I want you to do first. That's our first step. Second step, we actually go back to the browser. We need to install Git. So Git download. So Git is an application that'll work with GitHub. So we'll go to Git downloads. So I search for Git download. I come here. I'm going to download this version for Windows. We'll get it to run when it starts. Okay, so that application is downloaded and starting to run. It's in the back behind this window here. So we're going to say yes, allow the program to make changes. I'm going to put it in the default location. This is all right. So I basically changed nothing in the install. Okay, that's done. So we now can check that this was installed. Oh, this is just going to bring up the browser again. Okay, let's close the window. So let's look for PowerShell. We're going to be using PowerShell in this programming bootcamp. So just make sure Git was installed. So just said Git. There we have it. Git now works. So now with our forked repo, I want to bring it down to the. So let's go GitHub, SimCenter. So there's that bootcamp again. So again, this is the master one. I want to go to my own fork. So I'm going to go over here to the forks. And there's my SimCenter fork of the, here's my fork of the SimCenter, Neri SimCenter. Okay, again, I'm in F. McKenna, SimCenter Bootcamp. So what we want to do is go to this pull-down menu that says Code. We want to pull it down. And we're going to basically copy this location. So we'll just click on this little button here, which is copying it for us. We're going to go back to PowerShell. Currently, I'm in my home directory. I could CD desktop, I could CD documents, but I'm going to, for today, going to just put this in my home folder. So I'm going to git clone and then Control V. So this is now downloading that GitHub repository. into my own folder. So I do a for now. I will see I have a SimCenter Bootcamp 2020 folder. There it is. And I could CD into SimCenter Bootcamp 2020. So just type SimCenter and then just tab will finish it off. If I do a dir here, I see we have a bunch of stuff. Okay, so that worked. Next phase of this operation, we need to download Python from python.org. So we're going to just python.org and download. I don't want 2.7, so I'll get rid of that. I want a version of 3 of Python. So the current one is 3.8.5. Let's not do that. Let me get the latest 3.7.7. Just in case it doesn't work with some of our packages. So I'm going to download this third one down, the x86 64-bit executable installer. I'm going to select that, click Run. This will download the installer to my machine. Let's minimize the browser again. So here it is. The thing we have to do, we want to make sure Python is added to our path. So make sure this checkbox is clicked. So add Python 3.7 to path, make sure that box is clicked, and then just specify install now and go through all these little prompts if it brings up any. Okay, seems to be done. We will exit this and just start it up again. PowerShell. There we go. Python is now installed. So I gotta type Python, and to get out of Python, it's quit in the open and close braces. Now we need to install some packages. Those packages were listed on the, I do back buttons enough. If I go to the Bootcamp, if I go to our Windows computer setup instructions, I have all these packages. There's actually more. So I'm going to Control C this. I'm going to go back to my PowerShell and hopefully Control V. There we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, that worked. Let me exit the browser here. So I'm in my home directory again. If I CD into SimCenter Bootcamp 2020, ls cd code, ls cd Jupyter. Okay, I have all these files. Let's fire this up. Jupyter notebook. Just type Jupyter notebook. That should start an application, which will load that folder. And if I click on any one of these Jupyter notebooks, it should pop up. Okay, so that works. That's everything needed for the first week. One last thing I asked you to do, we need to TAC. If I search for TAC token here, we need this. Again, we're going to need this to log into DesignSafe. This multi-factor authentication attack. If we click on that, if you do this from your, again, you're going to do this from, not from your computer, you're going to do this from your phone. But there's 2 apps. Pick whatever phone you have, pick the appropriate one, and install that application on your phone. When we are logging into DesignSafe to do our C and C++ programming exercises, you'll need that application installed in your phone. With that, I'll close. I'll see you all next week.